go into it, Camera Raw Filter, and you can see you get this. And I've got the Vectorscope up here. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that you can resize it. No resize feature. That is as large as it gets, which is a pity. I think it would be nice if you could separate it and also resize it to a larger size. But still, what it shows is the whole load of pixels, all the pixel information, but the saturation. So if we just go to a feature, just to show you its saturation, down here to colour. So you can go over here and you can go saturation, let's just boost it up. Now, of course, it's pretty saturated anyway, so you can see it's even more saturated when I do that. Push it to 100, and then you can see it really fills most of that space up there. If I go to saturation and go the other way, see, so I reduce it down, it keeps obviously the same colour. You can see the alignment. In fact, you can probably see it clearer when it's smaller. But what you can do, you can just move the saturation down and put it down to 0, and you get, that's it. Now, you'll notice there's also an option here for skin. Now, I've got obviously no skin here, so you can right-click at any point and go show skin tone. And the thing is with this, you can show histogram, you can show, so you can bring that back if you want, or you can right-click and get rid of it, and vice versa with the Vectorscope as well. So just go there and Vectorscope. Okay. So you can see what it basically does. Let's just now push the saturation back to there. And you can use it just going through this. So you go here, let's just make certain the whole thing is shown there so you can see it. And you can see which things actually change the settings here. So if you want, you can put exposure down. You put it down, put it down. Now, when the exposure obviously just gets darker and darker, obviously you see less, there's less of anything, and this disappears. And you can still see some green. Some green is still here, and that's what it shows. You can see, look, the line is sort of pointing off towards the green. So you can really just change things, tweak things based on that. Now, it's not always going to be straightforward. You can tweak certain things and you may modify something else, and it doesn't always mean that the picture will actually look as good. Personally, I've seen a few examples now online where people have been showing the Vectorscope feature and they've been showing it, and personally I preferred the original image. So this is always going to be the thing when you do it. It's also your own opinion on that. Okay, what you can also do is contrast. So contrast, you can see contrast does, if you put the contrast down, does reduce it down a bit. You can see it just becomes a bit duller, less saturated. So contrast, boost it up, and then you can see it spreads out even more. I don't know about the maths for all this, but anyway, that's what the visual display shows. Then you've got highlights. So highlights, just move that, and you can see again, that pushes that out, and you can push the highlights. And of course, because it seems to become duller when you remove the highlights, it sort of drifts down a bit, becomes smaller. And you can see other ones like whites, shadows, they all have just subtle effects. The shadows seem to make the density in the centre increase. If you look in the centre there, seems to sort of push out like a bulge at the centre, a little bit around the edge, but mainly in the centre. Okay, let's just go down to another one. And there's a number of options, of course. There's lots of things like here. There's so many different settings here in Camera Raw. Should not be ignored as a tool. Then you've got temperature. And you can see with temperature now, let's just go, push it down all the way so it's very obviously blue. You can see now cyan and blue. That's where it's just pushed everything into. Everything in that Vectorscope is really showing this is a very blue picture. And again, if you want a blue picture, then that is perfect. But then you can go the other way. Let's just go the other way. So it's obviously clearly very red and green there. And you can see it's basically the whole mass of it is in this area. Purples, bit of green, mainly red. And you've got that. And you can then push that down. Now you've got tint. So tint. So again, tint. So you obviously you see it, tint goes more blue. Again, purple goes down there. And likewise tint goes more green, pushes it up towards the green. So it's a really great way of visually seeing it. It's a very useful tool, I think, for this. Also gives a lovely description just popped up then when you hover over. Yes, just hover over there. Determines how warm or cool pictures the colours appear. Okay, what you can then do is also modify vibrance. Now vibrance, obviously if you push it right down, obviously it's going to be more desaturated, as you can see there. But you push it up, doesn't really change a huge amount, just sort of tweaks slightly. Certain parts of it change, which I think that's the thing with vibrance. It's not exactly the same as saturation. So let's just go with saturation now, push this up to the max. And then, I mean, obviously it's not, I guess if you applied it a couple of times, if you went, reapplied it 3 or 4 times, push it beyond 100%, just keep trying, you could probably make it fill the entire area there. I don't know. I doubt if you can make it any. But sometimes when you apply these things, you apply them a couple of times, it seems to get even more saturated. And of course you go the other way, and if I go the other way, it shrinks away to nothing when it's grayscale. And then you've got these other ones. Now these do have an effect. There's a lot of ones, and obviously they're more useful for other manipulation as well. Clarity, change the contrast around the edges. So sometimes you may find, of course, in this sort of thing, it changes it very subtle. Just a little bit of a shift there, because, you know, when you're doing a gradient, there's not really much of an edge there at all. Likewise, texture. Let's see what texture says. It'll pop up with a little appearance of texture, soften. Again, it's very soft anyway. I imagine there's a subtle, but it doesn't, just pushes it out maybe slightly more when you push the texture up. But it's not that much difference. Vignette makes it darker. You'd think it would actually have more of a dramatic effect. Doesn't seem to have that much. It's obviously got enough information. Maybe because the edges are quite dark anyway. So I guess the vignette doesn't really have much of a... If I had gradients here as well, maybe it would have more of an impact. Grain, I don't think has any effect. Just very subtle, if it does anything. Slight change in that image. Again, I see an odd marker just pops across it. I don't know what that does. Not certain what that is. Weird little function. Curves, even more useful. Let's just go and modify that, and you can see as you do that, push that out, and then you can see now if you go like this and you push, obviously now removing the colour completely, it's just coming white. So as you do that, it becomes very, very sort of scattered and very broken apart. And the more I do it there, you can see it goes down and down and down until obviously it will just go to the centre again, and a few bits are still left. I don't think I can. But also if you go black there, exactly the same. So if you want to move it around, you can tweak that. And of course you can modify the reds, the greens, etc. independently. And refine the saturation. Again, that's subtle, very subtle changes there. There's also this one, colour mixer. There's so many things. So if you want to, you can see this one actually seems to, does it have a really overall colour really? It's obviously got more emphasis on green. So I guess you just go to the greens, modify that. You can see what happens. That pushes the greens in, which is reasonable. If you push it green up, the greens go bang right against the edge of that circle. Likewise, yellow, go to yellow, go to the orange, more in the centre, of course. Then the reds, let's push that out. You can see it goes, touches the red. And you've got the other ones, aquas as well. Interesting, aquas, what's that? That's blue and greens, blues and purples. You can see, you can manipulate it, and you can see the result, obviously, in the image. You can visually look at it. All it's doing is a mathematical showing how it looks on the screen. And you've got colour grading as well, and mid-tone shadows again, you can tweak those, and you see that becomes more red, and then it really pushes over towards the red. And I push that green, like that goes over the green. If I push that one to the blue, then it goes to blue, and so on. So you can see the manipulation. In fact, some, of course, have no effect at all. Sharpening, I'm certain. If there's any effect, it's very, very subtle. So click OK. And you get the result from your camera raw. Now you can, of course, use it with photos as well. So let's just go for a photo. Don't know which this one is. Something like that. This picture looks very light brown, yellowy, earth. I don't. Right. Let's just go to the filters. Let's see what it says. So I'm just going to go to camera raw. And actually that's one good thing. Sometimes if you're not really sure about it, you look at it and think, you know what, is this picture too overly red, too overly blue? Actually, this is going to be a good way. I'll simply just go into camera raw, and then you can just see, well, actually it's very much obviously some sort of muted browns and reds and a bit of slight red there. Not much else. There's a bit of blue because obviously I think obviously her jumper is blue, but that's about it. Okay, so again, exactly the same as before. You can change the exposure. So if you change exposure, make it darker, you can see it just disappears completely. If you go the other way, you can really see where this image blue, very, very blue when you do the exposure. And contrast, you can see it goes over like that. And also temperature again, you can tweak temperature, obviously very blue, all becomes very blue, becomes like a jet from that center. And right there. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Actually, many ways, you know what, this would be really nice if you could capture the Vectorscope. I think it creates some interesting visual effects. Perhaps there's an application. Please let me know in the comments below if you know of a tool that does Vectorscopes like this from an image, but you can actually capture the Vectorscope. There's one thing I think that Photoshop never does, which is always a pity, is that there's features in it. Just capture it. Let's just create this. Just capture that really quite interesting visual sort of curling cloud of pixels or information, obviously saturation information. Just show it and save it. You could use it in your various images. However, right, let's just go down, and you've got other things. As mentioned, there's texture, and you can see texture actually does have an effect. There is the texture. So you can see it becomes a little more grainy, sort of yellow comes in, and it just breaks apart. So you've got that original, obviously, curve there, but then you can see it's all pushing towards the red with texture. Let's just go the other way. So it just pushes it back, and it sort of focuses it in. Clarity, let's just go with clarity, and that sort of makes it drop. Just drops downwards. And again, not much difference there. Dehaze. Oh, dehaze, that's an interesting one. So dehaze makes it obviously very sepia. Yellowy, brown. And you can see it's gone into that. Now, I don't know if you temperature change that. Yes, it moves it over there. Okay. So different, obviously the temperature setting also is a big factor as well. I still had that left. And you can see you can manipulate lots of these things just purely by, but you can visually see what's going to happen without actually near enough looking at the image. You can see by just changing the vignette, the darken, that probably it does have a little bit of effect. Just moves that central bit. Weirdly, the central bit goes up and down. Grain again doesn't really have any effect. Put those back to there. No, grain doesn't have any effect. But you can see some of these tools have quite major effects on your image, and you can see it now in here. Now this, I don't know why, and please put in the comments below if you can work a reason out why these highlights. Is there a right click? Is there a show? Is that something to do with it? I don't know. Show shadow clipping warning. Interesting. That's interesting things there. Show lab color readout. Okay. Ooh. Temperature. That's very odd. What's happened there now? Oh, right. That's of course is this. Let's just say, oh, okay. I hadn't tried that. That's the first time I've tried it on there. So you can actually see there. That's quite useful. So clipping warnings there. Does make, unfortunately, doesn't look particularly great, but obviously you can see it. Well, that's a run through of the Vectorscope. Unusual name. I do not know where it got its name from. I imagine there is a reason for it being called a Vectorscope. Obviously, it makes no sense when you're dealing with pixels. You think it would have been called a pixel scope. But I guess it probably comes from something else. Therefore, that's a name they've used. Any thoughts, questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Bye.